Well, thank you very much, Peyton. We just, from the National Weather Service, a tornado warning has been issued. As you can see, this severe thunderstorm, as you can see in parts of western North Carolina, right now in Oconee County, as you can see just north of Clemson. Here's the latest information on this. Tornado warning has been issued till 7:30. Severe thunderstorm warning until 7:30, also associated with this. Let's go back to the graphic. But here is the area right now that's being impacted by this tornado warning. Now, again, we've been watching this line of showers and thunderstorms throughout the morning. Now that this thunderstorm right here has been declared a tornado, and so a tornado warning now is being issued for folks as this storm is moving in a northeasterly direction. And again, if you're in the path of this storm, always the best advice in the event of a tornado is go to the interior part of your home, away from windows and doors. And of course, downstairs is always better than upstairs. Griffin Hardy is also with us, meteorologist Griffin Hardy. And Griffin, have you got any new information as you got this latest warning from the National Weather Service?
Yes, Dale. So this just came in. This is going to be for northern Oconee County. This is going to be for southern Transylvania County. We've got this little area of possible embedded rotation within the squall line that we've been watching here. I've got it switched over to velocity mode just in case we can try to figure out where this possible rotation is. And that right there, I believe that might be it. So if you're on that eastern edge of Lake Jocassee, I believe that's where that possible area of rotation is. So if you're watching us in far northern Oconee County and you're just getting the alerts on your phone or via the WYFF app of a tornado warning, that's where the area of rotation is. So again, if we clear that off and zoom it out a little bit more, this is the area that we're talking about. So we're far to the north of 6 Mile. We're actually to the north of State Highway 11, north of Foothills Parkway. I believe that right, I'll highlight it again for you, that right there, that's that little area of embedded rotation. So if you're north of 6 Mile and you're north of the Foothills Parkway up towards State Highway 11, that's where you want to get in your safe spot for sure. Even if you're in, if you're just north of Salem, probably a good idea to head to your safe spot as well. We've got a tornado warning that's going to be in effect until, let's see if I can pull it up here. Switching over to Live Super Doppler 4. So that's the area of concern right there. Again, I'll pull that up for you real quick. Tornado warning in effect until 7:30 a.m. So it's right near Lake Jocassee, on that eastern edge of Lake Jocassee is that area that we're most concerned with at this point. So it's moving pretty fast. This whole squall line's moving pretty fast, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. So again, this is going to be for southeastern Transylvania County, far northern Pickens, and far northern Oconee counties, where we've got that tornado warning in effect until 7:30 a.m. Let me do a quick reset here for everybody just tuning in. We know we've probably got a lot of folks that are tuning in all at the same time. So if you're just tuning in, here's the situation. We've got this big squall line that's coming in from the west. On that northern edge of the squall line, it's possible that we have some embedded rotation with it. So for everybody who's watching us in Lake Hartwell, I know the wind is really ramping up right now down towards Clemson. It's about to ramp up a lot towards Anderson. I've got it in Live Super Doppler 4 alert mode. We've got it in severe weather mode, so we're getting scans every 30 seconds here so we can get a better idea of where exactly the most dangerous parts of the storms are. And where we have the tornado warning for some possible embedded rotation is going to be in the northern sections of Pickens County and the northern sections of Oconee County. So if you're watching us in Salem, it's probably a good idea to just head to your safe spot just to be safe. Near Eastatoe, near Nimmons, right near State Highway or U.S. Highway 178 up towards Rocky Bottom, especially for folks in Rocky Bottom. This is going to be coming close to you. Probably a good idea to head to your safe spot as well. Again, I want to get the message out on social media for everybody who's just tuning in. We've got a tornado warning in effect for northern Pickens County, northern Oconee counties. So let me switch it back over for you real quick. Here's what we've got. I'll put that up on the screen for you right there. So if you're watching us in the northern section of Oconee County, northern section of Pickens County, head to your safe spot. right now, just to be safe.
Griffin, has there been any indication of this making landfall, touching land, or has it just so far been Doppler indicated rotation in the clouds?
So at this point, yes, it's just been Doppler indicated rotation. That just means that we have a little bit of indication that this could produce a tornado. If I switch over to one way we can often detect whether or not we actually have something is we have something called correlation coefficient on radar. Anytime that we have possible debris being thrown around, we would see a little blue dot on the screen that would be co-located with where the rotation is, and we're not seeing that. So that's a good sign that we just have, at this point, a little possible couplet along the line of storms. And where we have possibly a little embedded rotation is right about there. So this is going to be north of 6 Mile, north of State Highway 133. There's State Highway 11, which is right there. That's Foothills Parkway. So many of you are familiar with that if you're kind of driving up towards Table Rock. If you're kind of use that as your barrier, where the possible tornado would be is just north of that. So if you look over here, that is, I'll put it on the screen for you there. That's Lake Jocassee right there. So right on the eastern edge of Lake Jocassee is where we had that embedded rotation. We actually just got a new scan too. So it looks like that area is now moving over State Highway 178. This is right where the hills begin, right? So as you get up towards, Table Rock and Pinnacle Mountain, places like that, right as you start getting into the escarpment is where we have some possible embedded rotation there. So I'll pull that up for you one more time, where we have the warning in effect. Everywhere else south of here, if you're watching us in Clemson, luckily, at least at this point, any possible rotation is going to be passing north of you. Now, we got a lot of folks probably tuning in Pickens County, in Oconee County. Everything farther south of here is just straight line winds. Not to say that you shouldn't take it seriously, because we've got winds on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour, straight line winds within the squall line as it's coming in. But the most dangerous part of the storm is farther north of there, where we have some possible embedded rotation along that northern edge of the line. So again, if you're watching us in Rocky Bottom in particular, very good idea to head to an interior room away from doors and windows. You want to put as many walls between you and the exterior as possible.
Downstairs is always better than upstairs.
That's correct.
So a safe room in your home would be one without windows and doors. Many times for folks it would be a bathroom, a laundry room, somewhere that a smaller is better than a big room. But again, downstairs is always the best advice. The National Weather Service tracks these lines of thunderstorms as they make their way across the country. The entire state of South Carolina is under a tornado watch, but this has been the first tornado warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service since early this morning. So as this line of showers and thunderstorms marches to the east across the area, we're keeping an eye on it. And again, this has been the first time that an actual rotation in the cloud has been picked up by the National Weather Service Doppler. And therefore, this tornado warning issued until 7:30 this morning. All these thunderstorms have been traveling very quickly across the state of Georgia and now into South Carolina. We're talking about a line of thunderstorms traveling at about 50, 60 miles an hour, moving very quickly across the state of Georgia, now into South Carolina. And again, these individual thunderstorm cells can have strong gusty winds, 40, 50, 60 mile per hour winds can be generated. And of course, those can take down tree limbs and do damage as well. So drive carefully if you've got any kind of early morning travel plans. Look out for debris and roads. But again, the tornado warning is impacting parts of Oconee County and Pickens County up into the foothills of North Carolina. That red box showing up on the screen from just east of Salem to Brevard is where that tornado warning has been extended to.
That's right, Dale. And again, this is something where it's radar indicated rotation. We don't have visual confirmation or debris on radar at this point. So that's the good news, is that we've seen some areas along the line where it's possible we've had some, little kinks in the line is what they're referred to. But at this point, we don't have any clear indication that something is down. I've been checking, this is our debris product, what's called the correlation coefficient, and we don't have any clear indication that we have debris that's being thrown around by possible tornado. But still, it's a situation where you want to stay sheltered just to be safe. Weather Service not taking any chances, of course. So again, if you're in at least the good news is for folks in Oconee County, it looks like they've taken out most of the area that was in Oconee County out of the warning. So this is mostly, we're talking about far northern Pickens County, north of downtown Pickens. Luckily, if you're in Pickens, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but you're not under a tornado warning. But the farther north you go, as you get up towards Rocky Bottom, up towards Rossman, Dunn's Rock, as we go up and over the hills into Transylvania County, these are the areas we're most concerned about possible trees or power lines that get knocked down from a possible tornado that could be embedded within the line.
A lot of people don't realize that when a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning is issued, in this case a tornado warning, that rotation within the cloud, we'd really have no idea when that funnel may make contact with the ground. Sometimes it can travel for miles within the cloud and finally make a very damaging contact with the ground at a place down the path. So we have to give a pretty broad area a heads-up warning, because typically these storms are moving anywhere from 35 to 50 plus miles an hour across the terrain. Kind of like you're traveling to school in the morning, that kind of speed in your car. That's how fast these storms move across the landscape. So we have to warn people in advance in case that funnel cloud were to come down close to where they live. And so that's why there's this broad triangle that stretches out over several counties whenever we have a tornado warning issued. But again, until 7:30, that area highlighted in red under a tornado warning, and we're continuing to track this for you. You can see that broad area of gold and red on the map. That's that line of thunderstorms that throughout the morning has been moving very quickly across the southeast through Georgia, now into South Carolina and western North Carolina, bringing heavy downpours of rain, frequent lightning, and some strong gusty winds associated with it. Safe place in your home, always downstairs, a small room without windows and doors, better than a big open room. And should you find yourself experiencing the terrific winds of a tornado. Anything new, Griffin?
So I'm watching for any other updates from the Weather Service. Switching over to velocity for you. It's, again, a situation where we have a couple little areas along the line which could briefly spin up into a tornado, but it's not immediately obvious where that might be happening at this point. So it's still a situation where, yeah, we have some possible embedded rotation within the line, and you want to take it seriously, but still at this point, we don't have any debris that's getting thrown around, which is great. Still, though, stay in your shelters. If you're in far northern Oconee County up towards Rocky Bottom, anybody who lives, along State Highway or U.S. Highway 178 north of Foothills Parkway, this is right along the state line with South and North Carolina between Pickens County and Transylvania County. So if you're in Rossman, a good idea to just stay put. Don't go out in the roads if you can help it right now. The tornado warning continues until 7:30 a.m. And for just to do a quick reset for everybody who's just tuning in, we got a lot of folks that tuned in at different times. So we've got this line of storms that's been sweeping in from northeast Georgia over the last past few hours or so. Along the line, we've got a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings. Most of what we're seeing right now is just from straight line winds. That's the biggest concern at this point. And that line stretches from Elbert County up through Hart County, just passed through Clemson. I'm sure folks in Clemson are probably getting a rude awakening at this point because with all the wind that's probably ongoing right now. The winds within this line are up to 50 to 60 miles per hour. On the northern edge of the line, there's at least a chance right now that we could get a brief spin-up tornado that develops, hence why we are in continuous coverage at this point. And there's a tornado warning for northern Pickens County and up into Transylvania County. This warning was issued about 10 minutes ago, and it was on the eastern edge of Lake Jocassee where we had some possible embedded rotation within the line. We can hear the rain coming down on top of the station right now. It's definitely starting to pick up here in Greenville. So again, if you're watching us in Rossman, if you're watching us in especially Rocky Bottom, I know that's a little tiny little community right before you go up and over into North Carolina. Stay in your shelters. I think that's the biggest community that's in the immediate path of where we could see some an embedded tornado within this storm. Switching over to the debris signature. It gets a little bit noisy as you get up into the hills, but still at this point, I'm not seeing any clear indication that debris is being lofted, but still a situation you want to take seriously. Definitely don't want to take any chances with this. So interior room, away from doors and windows. If you've got a closet, if you've got a bathroom, preferably in the lowest floor, don't go upstairs. Make sure you go downstairs. Lowest floor and away from doors and windows just to be safe, since we've got some embedded rotation that could be within this squall line that's starting to come in now.
Heavy downpours of rain, strong winds, frequent lightning associated with thunderstorms rumbling across the upstate into the Piedmont. So those areas that are highlighted in gold or yellow on your television screen are severe thunderstorm watch areas. And again, this has been the first tornado warning of the morning that has been issued by the National Weather Service, impacting areas from, as you can see, parts of Pickens County up into the foothills of North Carolina for another 10 minutes or another 9 minutes or so, still under this tornado warning that's been issued till 7:30. This has been a very fast-moving system, and this squall front right now, as it makes its way to the east-northeast, is traveling very quickly across the counties. So again, strong gusty winds, frequent lightning, and heavy downpours of rain will be associated with this line of showers and thunderstorms through the morning hours. We do see improving weather late morning into the afternoon, but again, this is a tornado warning still in effect for a while longer. It looks like they've sort of narrowed down the area once again, haven't they, Griffin?
Yes, they have. So Pickens County is no longer within the tornado warning. So that's some good news there. They've just trimmed the warning to where it's only for folks in Transylvania County where they're most concerned about possible embedded rotation. There's also a little sliver of northern Greenville County, that little northwestern edge of Greenville County, actually right on top of Table Rock and Caesar's Head. That's Table Rock Reservoir right there in the center part of the screen. So if you're up towards Cedar Mountain, up towards Dunn's Rock, and up near Rossman, that little southern edge of Transylvania County, that is where we have some possible embedded rotation. So within this part of our area, still a good idea to get to an interior room, away from doors and windows. Don't go out driving in the middle of this. It's the last thing that you want to do because we have a big line of storms that's coming in from the south. And just to zoom out real quick, this is a little small portion of what is a much larger line of storms that's marching its way through the area right now, kind of going from south to north here. This is right on top of Lake Hartwell right now. So where we don't have a tornado warning, it's not to say it's not a concern for you. We have severe thunderstorm warnings that are popping up all up and down the line of storms. And within the line, gusts have been up to around 50 to 60 miles per hour. But the most dangerous part of the storm is where we have some possible embedded rotation. So going from south to north here, the line itself is about to come up on downtown Anderson. As it stands right now, you can pull out the measuring tool here. So it's about 10 miles, 9 to 10 miles west of Anderson. And it's moving pretty fast. This is moving around 50 miles an hour. So as quick as it'll come through, it'll be gone in a hurry. It's already kind of starting to slow down a little bit towards Clemson. It's picking up a lot in Pendleton and in Central and right on top of 6 Mile right now. Luckily, when the warning was initially issued, back towards Lake Jocassee, it has now been trimmed out of the warning. So the most immediate concern with possible embedded rotation with this is going to be in that far northwestern corner of Greenville County up towards Table Rock, and then as you go up and over into North Carolina towards Transylvania County. If you're in Rossman, stay sheltered. If you're near Dunn's Rock, stay sheltered. Anybody who's right near Cedar Mountain as you go, up and over 276. Cedar Mountain's a little town there. If you go off to the right like you're going to DuPont State Forests. Been up there many times. It's a good idea to stay sheltered there. Tiny little community there. So if you're anywhere along 276, Highway 64, Rossman, this whole area, stay sheltered just to be safe. Again, it's a situation where we have radar indicated rotation. That means that it's possible at any given point that we could have a little spin up that develops along the line, but it hasn't, we don't have any radar confirmed debris yet, or we don't have a storm confirmed spotter that's confirmed that there's a tornado down. It's just a situation where this could happen at any moment, but have your guard up just in case. Again, that warning continues until 7:30, and we're waiting on word from the Weather Service on whether or not they're going to issue any further warnings downstream. So we'll keep posted of that.
Griffin, expand the view just a little bit so we can see that line of thunderstorms, that area of gold and orange and red on the screen, red being the heaviest downpours of rain. We're not seeing the lightning strikes embedded in that we saw earlier, but it's moving very quickly with very heavy downpours of rain, strong gusty winds stretching, as you can see, from just north of Elberton, Lounsville, Abbeville getting some heavy downpours of rain, Clemson still getting heavy downpours, as you could see, all the way up to Cullowhee in northern Pickens County into western North Carolina. That line of heavy downpours of rain. And again, watch out for the wind that could have taken down debris that may be in the roads as well. So drive very carefully. Very foggy. Visibility is poor this morning over a good bit of the area. And we are seeing winds pick up 15, 20, some 30 mile per hour gusts across the upstate with stronger gusts embedded near these thunderstorms. So the weather continues to be rocky for another hour or so. We should see improvement by late morning into the afternoon, and then things will definitely clear up later today. We still expect it to be a mild day, reaching into the 60s for the upstate and upper 50s for the mountains, so unusual temperatures for this time of the year. But again, still seeing that tornado warning on the screen for another couple of minutes, extended till 7:30 for parts of western North Carolina. And we'll see if the National Weather Service takes that any farther to the north here in the next few minutes as we continue to track this storm. Once again, thank you very much to Griffin Hardy, meteorologist Griffin Hardy, coming in on his day off to help cover the severe weather. And so we appreciate that very much.
So as you mentioned, Dale, warning only goes for a couple more minutes here. That huge box that just popped up on the screen there, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. So whether or not we have embedded rotation or not, these storms are still packing a punch, as they have all the way back to even as far back as Louisiana. We've been watching these storms since yesterday, and they've been producing. Well, here's the good news, is that this is happening right at dawn. That's normally when the atmosphere is at its most stable, when we have the least amount of heat to work with. Doesn't mean that these can't pack a punch, and they certainly are. We've got really strong straight line winds stretching from Coldwater up through Anderson County. Downtown Anderson, it's just a few minutes away from coming in. Got some really heavy rain just ahead of that line in North Lake. Central, you're really taking a punch right now with really strong straight line winds. But the most dangerous part of the storm is going to be up towards Transylvania County in that northwestern corner of Greenville County, where we have some possible embedded rotation with it. We first had this warning issued about 20 minutes ago, and it included over towards Oconee County and Pickens County. The line initially had signs of rotation when it was right near Lake Jocassee, so right about here. And then the line itself has moved. Well, the radar data, it gets a little noisy when you get up into the mountains, but the line itself is passing through that northern section of Greenville County and that southern section of Transylvania County, where we have some possible embedded rotation. So we're going to stick with it just a little bit longer, wait for this warning to be canceled. But for everyone just tuning in, we have severe thunderstorm warnings all up and down this line of storms as it's coming in. And we've got a tornado warning for Transylvania County that continues until 7:30 a.m., as well as can't discount that little sliver of Greenville County. That's the northwestern corner there, just north of Table Rock Reservoir. Not a very populated part of the area, but still, for folks that are watching in Dunn's Rock, for folks that are watching in Cedar Mountain, folks watching in Rossman, just south of Brevard. It's probably starting to get a little noisy up there, but for the most part, it's mostly just radar indicated rotation thus far. So we'll stick with this for just 1 more minute, and then we'll do a quick reset to just kind of give everybody an update on where we've been so far. So for everyone watching initially when this warning was issued for Oconee County and Pickens County, we probably had a lot of folks that were just tuning in. And it looks like for now, the tornado warning has expired. So that's some great news. At this point, yeah, the line is coming in fast and hard with straight line winds. But at this point, no indication of any, rotation embedded within the line. But that can change, and obviously, if it does, we'll be here to watch it just in the event that it does.
That severe thunderstorm watch now has been extended from Hendersonville through Rutherfordton, east of Asheville. So as this system continues to march eastward, we're seeing those watches continue to be extended out ahead of it. So keep that in mind if you've got early morning travel plans. Best advice is wait a little while, let this calm down. But heavy downpours of rain, strong gusty winds, and even lightning associated with thunderstorms as they continue to march toward the east. We'll continue to watch this closely. Should any more warnings as far as tornadoes or severe thunderstorms be issued, we'll have that latest information for you. Stay with us. Griffin, have you had a chance to see when they're expecting that tornado warning to continue until?
Okay, so that looks like it's going to be continuing until 8:30 for the northeastern corner of Greenville County.
This line of showers and thunderstorms has been spawning toward severe thunderstorm warnings across the upstate. And again, it looks like this big thunderstorm, as you can see, just east of Travelers Rest, has perhaps been the one that has caused the triggering of this tornado warning until 8:30 for parts of Greenville County and into Spartanburg County.
Okay, so this is going to be including for, let's see if we can get some more information for you guys.
All right, well, Griffin researches that. It's been a very stormy morning across the region with showers and thunderstorms breaking out ahead of this cold air that is working its way through the south. And this cold front has been spawning these strong thunderstorms with powerful winds, frequent lightning, heavy downpours of rain that you may already experience. And this is the second tornado warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service. They do this whenever they detect that rotation within the cloud that has the potential of spawning a tornado that could reach ground.
These storms that are rolling through, so get to an interior room away from doors and windows, and make sure that you're off the roadways for any of you don't want to be out driving for any reason at this point, especially across the northern sections of Spartanburg County.
This looks like it's just south of Landrum, but of course North Greenville College would be in this particular area too. Again, as you mentioned, near Lake Robinson is included in this tornado warning area that will continue until 8:30. So as this line of thunderstorms continues to advance very quickly to the east, this is the second tornado warning that has been spawned by this system. We always encourage people, should you find yourself in the path of a tornado, go to the interior of your home. Downstairs always better than upstairs. Small room without windows and doors gives you safety from the wind, the debris that could occur with a tornado. But again, this is in effect until 8:30 for this area that is highlighted in red.
Okay, so right about here. So that is Lake Robinson there at the bottom of the screen. We've got a really tiny area of rotation that's just north of Lake Robinson. So this is moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. I will put that into the computer here so we can put a storm track on this and see what communities are going to be in the path of this. Zooming the picture out a little bit more, that little area of rotation there, this is what has prompted the tornado warning for this little section of Spartanburg County. If we draw that out over the next 15 minutes, here are some of the places that could be in the path of this little area of rotation. So we're talking about Holly Springs Motlow Elementary School. It's coming up on there within the next minute or so. Up near Mascot at around 8:04 a.m., Bethune School at 8:06 a.m., and then New Prospect by around 8:11 a.m. So this is a new tornado warning that was just issued for northern Spartanburg County. Looks like it was actually just there was a moment when it was including Greenville County. That part has now been trimmed out, and it's only for Spartanburg County now where we have this tornado warning in effect. If you're tuning in Spartanburg County, this is going to be passing most likely north of downtown Spartanburg, at least the most dangerous part of the storm. So this is going to be including Inman. It's going to be including Campobello. Looks like it's going to be including Cooley Springs, New Prospect. All of these places I'm mentioning, you want to get to your tornado safe spot if you can help it. That is an interior room, away from doors and windows, and just make sure that you're not driving out in the middle of this. So switching back over to the next rad, right about there. So the most dangerous part of the storm at this point is right on top of the county line between Greenville and Spartanburg counties right now. So if you're watching us in that northern sections of Lake Robinson, that right there, this little area of rotation here, that's where the possible tornado is. So it's going to
side anywhere from 35 to 50 miles an hour. This has been a very fast-moving line of showers and thunderstorms we've been watching throughout the morning. So this is why the National Weather Service gives people a heads up way out in front of a potential system, because no one knows exactly when a funnel cloud is going to come out of that severe thunderstorm and make contact with ground. That's the unknown factor. So we have to warn people out ahead of that to take precautions and be prepared so that you're not caught. Again, think in terms, it's moving like the speed of a car across the countryside. So we try to give people enough heads up out ahead of time so they can get to that safe place, that interior room in their home or out of their car into a home and away from windows and doors, so they can be prepared for that storm passing by.
Right. So what's happening is we've got this big line of storms that's sweeping across the area now, and within that leading edge of the line, sometimes you can get little spin-ups of rotation that develop along it. And if you're watching us in Greer, this is just to the north of downtown Greer. Greer is not included. Downtown Greer itself is not included with the tornado warning. This only includes now just the northern sections of Spartanburg County, where we have the most dangerous part of the storm. Again, the tornado warning continues until 8:30 a.m. For northern Spartanburg County. So that includes Inman. It includes, I believe it includes Campobello. It does not include Landrum. Landrum, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but if you're in Campobello, if you're in Inman, anywhere along US Highway 176, stay sheltered and stay off the roads if you can help it. Just to the south of Foothills Parkway is where we've got the most dangerous part of the storm here. So good idea to just stay put for a moment and wait for this storm to pass as we work to get a little bit more information from the Weather Service about the storm.
It's moving very quickly. This line of thunderstorms, again, has been traveling very quickly across the southeast. And we've seen in the last couple of days reports of tornado damage and fatalities from severe weather. And this same line of showers and thunderstorms has been moving quickly through Georgia, now through South Carolina, and racing across the upstate, producing heavy downpours of rain, strong gusty winds, and the winds can exceed 60 miles an hour, and that's why the severe thunderstorm warnings are issued, and these extend out all the way to the South Carolina-North Carolina line.
So again, if the tornado warning continues until around 8:30 a.m. For northern Spartanburg County, and For folks that are just tuning in, let's do a quick reset for you. A lot of folks just tuning in and wondering what's going on since we've had this big line of storms that's come in. We've got a big line of storms that's been racing in from northeast Georgia. So much so that our live SuperDot before appears to have gone offline. It's showing some older data, so I'm switching back over to the NextRad from the National Weather Service. So we had data, but I think once it got to the Doppler site, it might have taken the data offline for a moment. But switching over to the NextRad site, we've got this line of storms that's really moving quickly, around 50 miles an hour across northern Lawrence County up into northern Spartanburg County. If you're watching us in Greenville County, you're in the clear. There was a brief moment where the tornado warning included parts of Greenville County, but now the most dangerous part of the storm is in northern Spartanburg County. So this includes Inman, this includes Campobello, does not include downtown Spartanburg. If you're watching in downtown Spartanburg, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but as far as any tornadic potential, it's going to be passing to the north of downtown Spartanburg. And if we switch over to velocity, there is, a very small little area of rotation right on top of, just north of Mascot there, just southeast of Campobello. So the more dangerous part of the storm that we're concerned with looks to be passing just to the south of Campobello. And it's going to be coming up on I-26 here in a moment, right near that State Highway 11 exit. So if you're zooming in even tighter here, if you're familiar with any of these road names, now's a good idea to seek shelter. Compton Bridge Road, Foster Road, anybody who lives along I-26 in northern Spartanburg County, Miller Farm Road, Edwards Road, Rock Hill Church Road, and Dixon Road. These are the places that you want to stay sheltered for sure, as we have a little embedded area of rotation within this line of storms that's coming in. If we switch over to the debris product, we're not seeing any clear indication of debris getting thrown around. All this little, typically what you would look for is a little blue dot that's on top of the same spot where the rotation is, and they're not quite aligned. You see the rotation right there, just to the northeast of Mascot, and you have a little signature southeast of there, but they're not in the same spot. So that's at least a good sign. But nevertheless, stay sheltered if you're in northern Spartanburg County, because we've got a tiny little area of rotation that could be on the verge of producing a tornado, if not already. So again, zooming out a little bit further again, the worst part of the storm is passing Mascot right now, right near Campobello, right near Inman. These northern parts of Spartanburg County look to be in the immediate path of where the most dangerous part of the storm is. So again, the tornado warning continues until 8:30 a.m. for folks in northern Spartanburg County, and we'll stick with this as it continues.
Once again, a reminder, should you find yourself in the path of a tornado, these tornado warnings are issued when there's rotation detected by National Weather Service Doppler system. Then, of course, they send out these warnings so we can give people in advance of these severe thunderstorms some heads up and a chance to get to their safe place. No one knows when a tornado will actually leave the cloud and make that funnel that we're all familiar with and come down to ground and start to do damage. It can happen anywhere along a path. And so we have to give people a heads up way ahead because, again, consider these storms traveling at 35 to 50 miles an hour, racing across the countryside. You have to extend that box out a good ways to warn those communities, again, because no one knows exactly when it may touch ground. So a tornado warning continued till 8:30 in this area that's highlighted in red, which takes it, as you can see, from Boiling Springs all to the north of Mayo into parts of North Carolina, probably before long. But again, here's that line of severe thunderstorms showing up as the red and yellow on the screen, and heavy downpours of rain, as you may have experienced already. Frequent lightning and strong gusty winds have been associated with this system, this line of showers and thunderstorms. And again, this is our second tornado warning of the morning that has been issued, and Griffin has been tracking the location on the map to give you an idea of where it potentially is.
So again, here's the storm track for you. It's not a really pronounced area of rotation, but I've drawn a track on it for you. These are the communities that are going to be in the path of this. New Prospect, it's going to be moving in that direction over the next 5 minutes or so, around 8:13. Little Africa at 8:15. Cooley Springs, Fingerville Elementary School, moving in there about the next 9 minutes, and then Cooley Springs itself at around 11 minutes away from you. So again, if you're watching us, the most dangerous part of the storms at this point are going to be in northern Spartanburg County. Doing a quick reset for you, we've had a big line of storms that's been racing across the area for most of the morning thus far, about the past 2 hours or so. It has now moved its way into Spartanburg County. For folks that are tuning in Greenville County, looks like you guys are all clear with this particular line of storms. The most immediate area that we're concerned about is Spartanburg County. For folks watching in Lawrence County, you're under severe thunderstorm warning, but that little line of storms is really quickly moving into Union County. So Lawrence County, you're about to be done with this. Spartanburg County, you're about to get some really rough weather here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, especially downtown Spartanburg. From everywhere in I-85 and points south, at this point, it's just straight line winds that we're seeing. It's northern Spartanburg County where we could have a possible, brief spin-up tornado that's embedded within the line. So again, if you're watching us in Campobello, if you're watching us in New Prospect, if you're watching us just right near North Pacolet, this little area of northern Spartanburg County, as you go up towards Rutherford County up I-26, that's where the most concerning part of the severe weather's happening. So switching back over to the next rad for you. Again, we'll get a new scan here in the next couple of minutes, but for everyone watching in that northwestern part of Spartanburg County, they have trimmed the warning at least. So if you're watching us and you're along State Highway 357, you guys are all clear. The worst of the weather's past you. But if you're in Mascot, if you're in Inman, if you're in New Prospect, and if you're in Campobello, stay put for just probably the next 5 or 10 minutes or so until we can give you an all clear. The warning itself goes until 8:30 a.m. for northern Spartanburg County, but downtown Spartanburg is about to get some pretty rough weather of their own, but it's mostly just going to be straight line winds. So again, doing a quick reset for you here. This is how the line has progressed over the past, about the past 2 hours or so. And it's now moved through Greenwood. It's now moved through Lawrence. It's now making its way towards the far eastern part of our area. So we're almost done with it, but for at least the next 10 to 20 minutes in northern Spartanburg County, stay sheltered and stay off the roads if you can help it.
As we've been saying throughout the morning, this is a very fast-moving system, and therefore the National Weather Service has been issuing these severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado watches and tornado warnings. The entire state of South Carolina has been under a watch from the mountains all the way down to Hilton Head. But there have been 2 now tornado warnings issued across the upstate from rotation that they've detected in these thunderstorm clouds, and we're continuing to track that area, showing up on the screen right here, this small area in Spartanburg County, as you can see, as it continues to make its way toward the east, toward Cherokee and northern Cherokee County, perhaps in the next little bit. But until 8:30, that tornado warning still in effect. Now, should you find yourself in the path of a tornado, we tell people all the time, always go downstairs. If you have a 2 or 3 story home, go to the lowest level you can, and an interior room away from windows and doors provides you the safest place. Obviously, you don't want to be impacted by the wind causing debris to come through the windows. So downstairs, always better. Looks like we've got a new block that has been issued.
Yeah, that's right, Dale. This is a new tornado warning. This is going to be including the northern sections of Lawrence County as well as Union County. We just got word in the chat room from the Weather Service. They've got a little area of rotation that they're watching that is northeast of Clinton. So this is going to include downtown Union. If you're watching us in downtown Union, this is a new tornado warning that's been issued. It's going to be in effect until 8:45. Let me give you some of the communities that'll be in the path of this. So the storm itself is going to be near Union within the next 10 minutes or so. So if you're just tuning in, if you're near Cross Keys, if you're near Union, and you're anywhere within the communities we mentioned, get to a safe spot. Get to an interior room away from doors and windows. Switching over to velocity so we can try to find some embedded rotation. I see two little distinct areas here where we might have something. You've got something here, and then you've got something here. Both of these are moving pretty fast up towards the northeast at around 50 to 55 miles per hour. So taking that off real quick. If we draw this out, I'll put the storm track on for you so we can get an idea of where this is headed. Moving northeast at around 50 miles per hour, that would put it in Union within the next 10 to 15 minutes. It would put it in Bonham at around 8:31, Adamsburg at around 8:36, and Lockhart at around 8:39. So that is the second tornado warning that have that's in effect right now. We've got one for that northern section of Lawrence County. If you're in downtown Clinton, they mentioned Clinton there in the chat room, but the actual circulation itself is probably going to be passing north of there. So if you're in downtown Union, get to shelter if you can help it. And we have another new tornado warning that was just issued for Polk County and Rutherford County. So it looks like the tornado warning for Spartanburg County has now expired. Time right now is 8:14. We've got some pretty fast moving updates here. Tornado warning for Spartanburg County, that has now expired. You're just getting straight line winds at this point. But now we have another tornado warning that was just issued for Polk County and Rutherford counties. This one is going to be in effect for until 8:45 as well. Again, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. So if you're watching us along North Carolina 108, if you're watching us along U.S. Highway 174, if you're in the western sections of the suburbs of Rutherfordton, that's an area you want to be in your interior room, away from doors and windows. So lowest floor, get to a closet or a bathroom. It's possible we could have within that line there some possible embedded rotation. So this is, it's kind of like playing whack-a-mole when you have a setup like this. Anywhere along the line you can get tiny little spin-ups that form, and that's exactly what's happening here. We're not talking about long track tornadoes. We're talking about tornadoes that could very briefly spin up for just a couple of minutes and then dissipate. But they're still worth taking seriously. So again, if you're in Polk County, if you're in Rutherford County, stay sheltered. We got a new tornado warning for you guys until 8:45.
So that has, now we have two that we're watching. One, as you can see, east of Columbus, there's that line of thunderstorms rumbling to the northeast very quickly. Again, they've been traveling 40, 50 miles an hour across the landscape and producing heavy downpours of rain, strong gusty winds associated with this. And we've had several spin-ups that have caused the National Weather Service to issue these tornado warnings, with the latest one extended until 8:45. And these are radar-indicated tornadoes. Doesn't mean they've touched ground yet. That remains to be seen. But again, they're traveling very quickly across the countryside, and we always want to give people a heads up. So if they find themselves in the path of a tornado and are experiencing those winds, they can be inside a home as opposed to outside in a car. You always want to be lowest part of your home that you can go to. Of course, downstairs always better than upstairs, and interior rooms away from windows and doors are safer. The smaller the room, the better. It gives you better protection.
Now, so if just to give you a name out some of the communities that are going to be in the path of this. So again, Polk and Rutherford counties, that tornado warning goes until 8:45 a.m. If you're in Mill Spring, if you're zooming in even tighter, near Manus Chapel Road, if you're near, let's say, County Line Road, Flower Way, VS Dalton Road, Carson Farms Drive, any of these places that are west of Rutherfordton, up towards Green Hill, kind of along the county line between Polk and Rutherford counties, that's one spot you definitely want to stay sheltered. If you're driving on the side of the road and we've got the radio broadcast on, maybe you want to pull over to the side of the road and pull over into a convenience store, anywhere that will let you in. You definitely don't want to be on the roadways this time. If we zoom out a little bit further, we've got two tornado warnings that are happening now. One that is in Union County, and we've got another that's up towards Polk and Rutherford counties, which we just heard about. So
from Cross Keys, as you can see, there's that big thunderstorm just south of Cross Keys, making its way toward the Union area.
Right.
And again, till 8:30, we're under a tornado warning in that community. So drive very carefully. If you happen to find yourself on the roads, best advice, obviously, is stay home until this line of thunderstorms makes its way quickly across the upstate and out of our region.
Right, so this embedded within the line, there's a possible area of rotation that is going to be moving into Union within the next 10 to 15 minutes. So Union, get to an interior room, away from doors and windows if you can help it. A closet is great, a bathroom is great. If you have a basement, go there, but it's not a... it's the good news is that at this point, we don't have any confirmation of debris that's being lofted on radar. I'll check it real quick just to make sure. And again, yeah, we have little areas along the line that could very briefly spin up into a tornado. Doesn't matter so much if you have straight line winds, and we're seeing that all up and down the line. So it's a situation you want to take seriously, tornado warning or not. But downtown Union looks like it's coming up quick, so it'll be moving in probably in the next 5 minutes or so. So you still got time to get to a closet or a bathtub or anywhere where you can just be away from doors and windows as the storm comes in, because it's certainly packing a punch. Even without the embedded rotation, you've got winds on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. And these radar scans can vary a lot, scan to scan, but if there is any area of rotation, that's probably it right there, just to the east of Cross Keys. So that is just northeast of Cross Keys, near State Highway 49, near State Highway 215, and it's really the western parts of Union where that most dangerous part of the storm is. I'll zoom out and put a storm track on it for you so we can get an idea of where exactly that's headed. So moving northeast at around 50 miles per hour, that should put it near Union Academy at around 8:25, Bonham at 8:28, Lockhart Junction at 8:31, and then Adamsburg at 8:34. So if you do have any possible tornado that's in there, that's probably where it is, at least according to kind of what I'm looking at with the Doppler there. But that's not the only tornado warning. So we've got two of them, and we kind of have to go back and forth between them. So zooming the picture out, resetting for everybody who's just tuning in, we've got this big line of storms that's been racing in from northeastern Georgia, and it's now affecting the eastern half of the area. We've already seen it race its way through in Coney County, Pickens County, and Greenville counties. For everybody watching there, all the severe weather is mostly past you, but it's still ongoing for folks in the eastern half of the area. And we've got two active tornado warnings, one of which is for Rutherford County and another one that is for Union County. So let's pause the radar here real quick. First tornado warning is up in Rutherford County. Looks like, for the most part, the worst part of the storm is past Polk County. So if you're watching us in Columbus, I think it's safe to give you an all clear from this particular tornado warning. But if you're in Rutherfordton, definitely stay sheltered. Stay put. Get to an interior room, away from doors and windows. If you're listening to us on the radio, if you're along U.S. Highway 64, U.S. Highway 221, up near Gilkey and Green Hill, pull off the road and get to a convenience store if you can help it, or anywhere that will let you indoors. Just to make sure that you're not in a car. It's one of the worst places that you can be during a situation like this is just on the roads with all of the straight line winds, the blinding rain, and of course the possible embedded tornado that we could be seeing within this. It's not quite clear if we have one though. Once you get up into the mountains, of course the radar data gets a little noisy. It picks up on the terrain, so it can be a little hard to tell, but doesn't matter. It's still a situation that you don't want to take any chances. So again, the tornado warning for Rutherford County, I believe, goes until around 8:45. So Dale, we will be sticking with this, and we kind of have to go back and forth since you've got two active warnings at this point. So we've covered Rutherford County. Let's go back to the Union County warning. That looks like
you're adjusting that as we speak.
Yes.
Looks like Chapin now is being included
Yep,
in a
that's
tornado warning.
Yep, down in the Midlands, they've got another tornado warning popping up there along the line. So this one that is coming up on downtown Union right now, still stay put. It's going to be continuing until around 8:45 p.m. Just had a local storm report of straight line wind gusts in Coronacre and Greenwood up to 53 miles per hour. So that's an observed wind gust, and of course the Doppler would support that too. And that just goes to show you, doesn't matter if you're under a tornado warning, still the straight line winds are really packing a punch. So again, the most dangerous parts of the line that we're watching are near Cross Keys, near Bonham, near Adamsburg, downtown Union. You're about to get some really strong winds here in a moment. I'll switch over to velocity, try to see if we can see anything. It's not the most pronounced signature, but if there was any embedded rotation, it would be about there. Unfortunately, if we had a look at, or if we normally we would have live Super Doppler 4 with us, but the data has gone offline. I think as soon as the straight line winds hit the Doppler, we lost data there. So we're using the NextRad site. And with NextRad, we're not getting as frequent of scans. So the couplet itself is probably closer to downtown Union. I would say it's, at this point, probably about here. If it was tracking northeast at 55 miles per hour. We've also got a live look at I-85 near mile marker 77. Here's what it looks like outside from the SCDOT cameras. As you can see, plenty of ponding on the roads. Whether or not the wind, it's just not the best time to be out in the roads. Let's be real. You've got 2 active tornado warnings, already a lot of heavy rain. But if you do need to be out and about, just be extra careful if you absolutely have to be on the roadways.
The forecast was for 1 to 2 inches of rain today across our region, and this is coming in a very quick period of time. So if you're in an area that is prone to flooding or ponding, be prepared for that, because heavy downpours associated with these thunderstorms that show up on the screen embedded in these areas of yellow or gold, those red areas is where it's really coming down, and that is just to the west of Union and about to impact the Union area with not only strong gusty winds, but heavy downpours of rain as well. All this action has been moving very quickly across both Georgia and now South Carolina, headed into the North Carolina area in the next couple of hours. And just ahead of that line of shower and thunderstorm activity showing up on the screen is where we've been seeing these tornado warnings issued by the National Weather Service. Right now we have 3. This is an interesting time of the year as far as how it feels outdoors, because you think of late December, you don't think in terms of these dramatic clashes between warm air and cold air, which create the quick building severe thunderstorms and can spawn the tornadoes within those. So we've got almost a spring-like condition here in late December that is spawning all these tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings across our region. But it is moving very quickly, and by late morning, early afternoon, things will dramatically improve for our area. But count on foggy and, again, a rainy, stormy weather between now and then. So we've got Rutherfordton area still showing up with a tornado warning, and we have the other one south of Spartanburg, south of Gaffney, impacting areas. And let's give you a quick update on communities that are in the path of these.
Yeah, so this is a squall line track. This is where it will be, the entire line where all the straight line winds are. This will be moving into Gaffney within the next 13 minutes or so. Gaffney ETA for you guys is around 8:39. It's not, I'm not saying that we'll have a tornado in Gaffney and 8:39. I'm just saying that the straight line winds will most likely be moving into the central part of Cherokee County within the next 12 to 13 minutes or so. And then by the time we get to 9 a.m., this should be exiting the region over towards Kings Mountain as you get over closer to the Charlotte area. By the time we get to around 9 a.m., the line is moving fast, so it should be close to Kings Mountain at around that point. So going back to where we have the tornado warnings in effect, we have one for Rutherford County right now. The worst part of the storm itself is on top of downtown Rutherfordton. The possible embedded rotation is going to be near Gilkey on the northern section of that line there, that little that bow echo that you see there. The northern part of it Yeah, the radar data is a little noisy up here, but bottom line is the northern part of that line will probably have some embedded rotation with it. So good idea to stay sheltered if you can help it. Looks like, the tornadic part of the circulation is going to be missing a lot of folks in the southern sections of Rutherford County. It's mostly straight line winds in Danieltown and soon to be Forest City and Sandy Mush, places like that. And then going back farther south into Union County, the second tornado warning we're watching is in Union County. So this one also continues until 8:45, provided they don't expire ahead of time. But either way, worst of the weather is on top of downtown Union right now. If you're watching us in downtown Spartanburg, you just got hit with a lot of straight line winds, but the actual most dangerous part of the storm, where we have a possible area of rotations down in Union County. Everywhere else in Spartanburg County, it's mostly just straight line winds, and that looks to be the case for soon-to-be Cherokee County, too. So if we switch over to the velocity data, you do have some possible areas of rotation here, and squall line, or what's called QLCS tornadoes, they can be notoriously hard to identify because they form so quickly and dissipate so quickly. But if you do have anything, this is you could have something there, you might have something there, but it can be like playing whack-a-mole, so to speak, where you have little circulation here, little circulation here, and they can again go up and down pretty fast. So again, Union County, stay sheltered for at least the next 15 minutes or so.
Griffin, we've had a report that about 4,000 people are without power from Greenwood to Greenville. So along that line we've been showing of showers and thunderstorms rumbling across the upstate, obviously there have been some people that have had trees or debris, limbs from trees taking down power lines. So about 4,000 people now without power from this system passing through this morning.
Yeah, so that goes to show you it doesn't have to be a tornado for it to be problematic.
Right.
And we have winds all up and down this line on the order of 50, 60 miles per hour. We had a recorded gust near Greenwood and Coronacre of 53 mile per hour gusts there. We're almost done. We're almost done with the severe weather. It's about to be exiting towards the east, but still in Union County in particular, stay sheltered. Tornado warning continues for you guys until 8:45, as well as for Rutherford County until 8:45 as well. Worst of that part of the storm is just I think it's just barely going to be missing downtown Rutherfordton, where we have some possible rotation, but still straight line winds are a big problem, and we're seeing that right now with trees and power lines getting knocked down, and as Dale just mentioned, 4,000 people without power in our area. So again, let's pause the radar here, going back down towards the south. So you've got some pretty strong straight line winds coming up on Cowpens and soon to be Gaffney, that little section of I-85 where the chutes are. That's where we've got some really strong straight line winds happening there. Moving south down towards Pauline, Packlet, you're about to get some strong straight line winds too. Then you've got this little section of the line in Union County where we have some possible rotation that's passing. Looks like it's just now east of downtown Union, but still, as the warning continues, you want to stay sheltered just to be on the safe side. Don't go out driving in the middle of this, of course.
Folks in Lockhart and Carlisle, be prepared because this has been a very fast mover, and with heavy winds and heavy downpours of rain as well, it'll be reaching your area in just a matter of a few minutes as we've been watching the line of thunderstorms race across the upstate 40, 50 miles an hour. So it's been impacting communities to your west and will soon be in that Lockhart, Carlisle area in the next few minutes. We always tell people, should you find yourself in a storm and you feel like maybe this is a tornado, you're hearing torrential winds outside, go to the interior of your home, away from windows and doors. A small room gives you better protection than a big open room. So a bathroom, closet, perhaps even a laundry room, smaller rooms without windows and doors would be a good place to be safe. And lower level is always better than the upstairs.
That's right, and we've got a little storm track for you. So as Dale just mentioned, Lockhart, be prepared. You've got about 5-ish minutes until this possible area of rotation is coming up on Lockhart Elementary School. Then it should continue up to the northeast, up towards Pinckneyville, and then up towards Bullock Creek by the time we get to around 8:43. We as I mentioned a moment ago, we would normally have live Super Doppler 4 available for us, but as soon as the storms came over the Doppler site, the data went offline. I'll check it again just to make sure that that's still the case. But yeah, it goes to show you that even in situations like this, yeah, so the data is there, but I think it's outdated slightly. So we'll stick with the NextRad site with the storms that are coming in. You know, we're not immune to situations like this. Again, tornado warning continues for Union County until 8:45 a.m. And the worst of the squall line, the worst of the straight line winds is on top of Mayo. Looks like it's passing or has now passed downtown Spartanburg. It's on top of Pauline though, and moving towards Gaffney, moving towards Blacksburg, and over towards Boiling Springs, and is now most likely starting to move east of Rutherfordton, the worst of the squall line there. And squall lines are notoriously difficult to pinpoint with tornadoes. Anytime you have the leading edge of a squall line, you can get little spin-ups that form along it, and they can be very short-lived. We're talking 2 to 3 minutes that they could be down or not down because they can go up and down super fast. But that makes it all the more important that you take these seriously, that they can form in such short notice. There's a new scan of the NextRad site. So there's the squall line, which is now east of downtown Rutherfordton and is coming up on Duncan's Creek and Forest City. It was that northern section of the line where we had some possible rotation with it. Bostic, it's on top of you right now, and then that stretches south into the upstate. So it'll be coming up on Gaffney here in the next probably the next 5 minutes or so. I'll put a storm track on it so you can get an idea of when this will be moving into Cherokee County. So it'll be in Gaffney within 5 minutes at 8:39, Boiling Springs at 8:40. It'll be coming up on Shelby at around 8:48, and then Bellwood at 8:53. And we don't have any possible embedded rotation within that part of the line, but there's still a lot of wind on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Then farther south, you've got this other section of the line, which the northern edge of it might have some rotation with it. Looks like if there's any part of the storm that's the most dangerous, it's going to be right near Lockhart at this point. Right about there, near Adamsburg. It's right just to the north of State Highway 49, where we have some embedded rotation there, that little couplet that you see there. So just to the west of Lockhart, still stay sheltered. If you're near Pinckneyville, that's another spot you want to be extra careful. This little southeastern corner of Cherokee County and the northeastern corner of Union County. This is right on the edge of our area, but stay sheltered near a closet or a bathroom if you can help it.
Griffin, it looks like there's a new area that has just been included under a tornado warning. If you'll go back to the map, you'll be able to see that now more so in the Cherokee County area.
Yep, they looks like they just issued a new warning for that. So that's going to be including the eastern sections of Cherokee County. That's going to go until 9:15. So that's going to include Surratt. That's going to include, let's see if we can get some other towns to pop up here. State Highway 105. Any of these places I'm mentioning, get to an interior room away from doors and windows. State Highway 211. Asbury, up near State Highway 105 near Wilkinsville. All these places, get to an interior room away from doors and windows. This includes Blacksburg as well, as this little possible area of rotation kind of moves up to the northeast. It's going to be right in that corner of Cherokee County. I believe it's Cleveland County, as well as Union County, right about there, where we have some possible rotation, just to the west of Lockhart. That's where the rotation is closest to, is that right near Lockhart, right there, that little couplet. So again, stay sheltered if you can. Don't drive on the roadways. This tornado warning is a new one, and that goes in effect, well, it's in effect now and goes until 9:15 for Cherokee County, the eastern section of Cherokee County, as this line pushes on in.
This has been a very fast-moving system as this line of showers and thunderstorms has taken out power from Greenwood to Greenville. We've had reports of over 4,000 people have lost power because of trees taking down power lines. Doesn't necessarily mean it was a tornado. Severe thunderstorm winds can do the same. They can topple trees, especially after we've had a good bit of rain that has saturated the ground and loosened the roots. And we've seen a lot of trees come down this year, haven't we?
We sure
we're
have.
seeing power outages this morning from Greenwood to Greenville. 4,000 plus people without power as we speak. So again, if you're watching and wondering, all right, what does this tornado warning mean? It means there's the potential within these severe thunderstorms of a funnel they've already indicated with Doppler radar, the National Weather Service, rotation within a thunderstorm cloud. That rotation could form that funnel that we all know as tornadoes and make a touchdown anywhere along that path, and that's why we extend it out quite a ways. It's traveling so quickly at 50 miles an hour across the region, it doesn't take long for it to cover that coverage area. And again, that tornado could touch down anywhere along that path. Hopefully it won't, and we're hoping it won't, but we want to warn people ahead of it to give them a chance to take necessary precautions and go to a safe place in your home, away from windows and doors, downstairs to ride out severe weather.
Right, so the tornado or not, these storms are still packing a punch. So I've drawn a squall line track on the leading edge of that line that is coming out of Spartanburg County, now moving into Cherokee County. It'll be moving into Gaffney here in the next 2 or 3 minutes, into Shelby within the next 10 minutes or so, Bellwood at around 8:53, and then by around 9 a.m., it should be moving over towards Kings Mountain and exiting the area to the east. Some good news to pass along for folks in Rutherford County. The tornado warning has expired, so the most dangerous part of the storm for folks in Rutherfordton has passed. All clear for everybody who's watching in Rutherfordton. It is not all clear for folks that are watching in eastern Cherokee County. So if you're in Blacksburg, if you're in Surratt in particular, right near Lockhart is where we have the most dangerous part of the storm there. So again, stay sheltered if you're in southern Cherokee County, if you're in eastern Cherokee County or northern Union counties as well, because it's, again, anytime you have a squall line and possible tornadoes, it's kind of like playing whack-a-mole, where you have really fast-moving and fast-forming couplets that can develop.